I'm gonna put a spoiler warning on this. This game like just came out, and I really don't want to ruin the experience. So if you don't want to get spoiled, make like a tree and. Hey guys, it's me, your favorite low-income kick streamer, back with another bad idea. And today, we're gonna be beating Doom the Dark Ages melee only. And while you may ask, hey, that's kinda like not taking your meds and trying to do something while you're not on meds. Well, get this, buddy. I haven't taken meds in 3 years. Anyways, medication aside, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first of all, yes, it's technically impossible to beat the game melee only because of the turret sections and the forced gun sections on both the Dragon and the Atlas. But what I'm trying to figure out is, can you beat the game where you have the option to use the melee? That's what I'm trying to figure out today. So anyways, the rules for this challenge are as follows. I have to use melee items whenever I have the choice to. Second, this run is done on ultra violence. Now, I did turn up the damage you do to demons to 125%, but in order to counteract that, I turned the parry timing down to minimum, because for most of this game, you're going to be relying on the parries, so, and that's kind of it. There's not really any other rules in this, so let's just jump right into it. So, we go ahead and we start on the very first level, and one thing I absolutely have to point out is, why on earth is this stupid ship hovering like 1,000 feet above the ground? I mean, wouldn't it make more sense to be up in orbit, you know, because of how much energy it takes to keep that ship staying there for days at a time? Anyways, we're dropped down into the very first level, and our only option for dealing damage to the enemies is the shield bash. And let me say, this thing does legitimately 0 damage. Oh my god, is it terrible. Anyways, about halfway through the level, we get access to our first main damage dealer, which is essentially just the fist attachment, you know, their fist. Anyways, the unique thing about this is that it has a combo attack. But the funny thing about this is that the combo attack deals quite a bit of damage. I mean, the first one does regular, the second one does regular, but the third hit does like 3 or 4 times what the other two would. So anyways, we're able to use both of these fist things as well as the parries to get to the rest of the level. Then we get to a turret section and hold down left click for 3 minutes. Invigorating gameplay. Let me just add in some extra stimulants here so y'all don't get bored. Ooh, that looks way better. 10 out of 10 game. After we complete the first level of the game, we're introduced into the main antagonist of the game, Prince Hairline. Oh my god. I swear to god, this antagonist is like a walking keeps ad, dude. Anyways, we move on to the second level, and at the start of the second level, we get access to probably the most useful thing in the entire run, that being the shield saw. So, I want you to sit back and imagine this for me, right? So, imagine you have $250,000. And imagine you don't want the government to steal it from you. The shield saw will instantly kill any fodder type demon and is essentially an unlimited stun on any non-mini boss demon. And the cooldown on it is about a second. So yeah, it's pretty damn insane. As we go through the level, we get our first introduction to the upgrade system in this game. And I'm not gonna lie, this is unbelievably confusing. Now, I know I'm pretty stupid, but I swear to god, I don't understand this. And I played through the game twice. I have like 30 hours in this, and I still have no idea how this upgrade system works. So looking at this kind of feels like I'm reading divorce papers. Not the point though. We keep going through the level and we get introduced to our very first leader demon. So basically, these demons, if you kill them, you'll either get health, armor, or an ammo upgrade. Which I think is a pretty cool system, because I've played Doom Eternal like 4 times, and each time I could not find all the crystals. I was always one short. Anyways, this next level is our very first Atland level, which is really cool. You feel absolutely giant when you're in one of these things. Anyways, here's a quick overview on the Atland combat. Okay, here's a quick overview on the Atland combat. I think the whole point of the Atland levels is to not fight the demons. I think the whole point of this is to basically spend time destroying as much public infrastructure as possible. I mean, we can basically turn this city into present-day New Jersey, but I don't think it'll ever be at that level, because I mean, if you hit New Jersey with an asteroid, it would probably still look the same. Anyways, what am I talking about? Anyways, after destroying enough public infrastructure to make Hebeth look like Gary, Indiana, we grab the reactor core, which is now overloading, and throw it off a cliff to where it's about to blow. Anyways, we head down to the Sentinel barracks because it's being attacked for some reason. And tiny tangent, why on earth are we fighting a battle with hell? I mean, that is literal hell. If people die, they're gonna come back as demons and fight you. It seems extremely pointless. But, you know, whatever. Anyways, we run through the level making good use of the shield saw and the parry, as well as our special 3-shot melee combo, before we end up finding Ruby, which is essentially just another upgrade token. which you can use to upgrade weapons further. Wow, that's commentary right there. Anyways, we keep progressing through the level before we have to face the Valkyrie champion, or as I like to call him, the same spider that somehow ends up in my shower every time I get in there at 12 o'clock at night. And I'm not gonna lie, this boss is pretty much just pressing right click to parry. It's not terribly bad, so we're able to beat it and move on to the next level. Anyways, we move on to the dragon level, and I'm not gonna lie, this is basically just a glorified cutscene where you hold left click and press space a few times. That's literally just a dragon. Like, I am not even kidding you. I swear to God, there's more input in driving a mobility scooter around 3 slot machines and spinning them all at the same time. So anyways, in this level, we get introduced to the Cyber Demon, and I'm not gonna lie, he's an absolute pushover. My God, I mean, you can kill him with just a couple of combos because your parries reset your melee, which makes everything just so much easy. So much easy, my fucking stupid. Anyways, towards the end of the level, we're able to max out our shield, and that comes with probably the most broken ability in the entire game, which is Steadfast, which it essentially takes the punishing part of taking too much damage with your shield and throws it right into fucking New Jersey. I'm referencing garbage, by the way. And I'm pretty sure you can also shield throw faster. It's crazy. So anyways, we get to the end of the level where Prince Hairline is trying to get the Heart of Argent to make his hairline better. Because, oh my God, I think Dick Cheney has a better hairline than him. Anyways, we get there, and yes, King Novak is able to stop Prince Hairline from getting the Heart of Argent by deploying a flashbang and quickly extracting. Oh, whoops, sorry, I forgot this was a Doom video. You know, I just got distracted with my dedication to opening cases. I spent $2.50 on this joke. Please laugh at it. Please. Anyways, we move on to the very next level, which for some reason, Prince Hairline has a ship that looks just like the Bad with a Bone meme. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. Anyways, we start the level and we go through and we're able to pick up the flail. And let me just say, this thing is an absolute piece of shit. You don't get the benefit of the 3-hit combo that you would with the fists. And I think the only point of this is it's supposed to give you armor, but it's a fucking piece of shit. Anyways, we go through the rest of the siege level clearing out demons for some reason. I don't know. I don't even know. I wasn't really paying attention. I was too busy scrolling Instagram reels. Anyways, after we clear all the stuff away, somehow a demon spawns and manages to throw an Atland into the shield. And somehow this manages to break the shield, which doesn't even make any sense, you know, because they could just move the energy shield to account for the impact. Anyways, the shield falls and then the demons run on through. Anyways, in Siege Part 2, you basically just fight a bunch of demons and you do that for hours and hours and hours. So anyways, I'm gonna move on to a brand new side segment that we're doing. Why did I die here? I'm gonna show you a clip of me dying and you have to figure out how I died. God, I love the targeting in this game. It's just so good. It's just so good and it always works. Come on. Poor spot to be in, and I'm dead. Is it A, stupidity, B, stupidity, C, stupidity, or D, dropped inputs? Anyways, let's just move on to the next level. Anyway, next up we go to the forest level, where we go ahead and run through because apparently we need to go to a forge for some reason. Why? I have absolutely no idea. Because who thinks in a war, if we go to a forge, maybe we can turn the tides of war. No. You solve all your problems in war by copious amounts of bombing. Just ask Richard Nixon. So anyways, we make our way through the forest and down to the front gates of the forge, where we run into the Agadon Hunter. And let me say, these guys are extremely annoying to fight, because every time you parry them for some reason, they always hit you back like 80 billion feet back. It's so annoying. Anyways, I developed a strategy of charging my shield using an upgrade I got earlier for killing fodder. It charges your shield to make it do way more damage, and I had him down to a small sliver of health. And then my game crashed. Yeah, when I played this game for the first time, I had zero issues with the game. Like, no frame drops, no lag, no crashes, no nothing. But as soon as I turn on OBS, the game turns into a fucking bomb, ready to blow up my PC at a moment's notice. Anyways, we make our way into the forge, and for some stupid reason, the forge is powered by a heart. Like, why? Why on earth would the people in the game design room think, okay, we need a way to power this forge? What about a big-ass heart? You know what I would think would be a better power source than a heart? Child labor. You ever think about that? Huh? The last time I checked, there ain't no child labor laws on Argent de Neur. Anyways, we go around turning on some switches to go turn on the heart, because for some stupid fucking reason, the heart is not always on, which doesn't even make any sense, but you know. I already threw all the logic out the window in this game when I figured out people were trying to fight hell. So after we turn all them on, we go run in and get a magic drop of whatever the fuck on our shield, and that gives us access to our very first shield rune. And let me recap over these real quick, because they're basically just abilities that turn on when you parry projectiles. That's kind of it. But the first one that we get is the ground fisher, and it kind of sucks. I mean, this thing is pretty much as worthless as the rent option they put on Counter-Strike cases. I don't want to rent cases, no, I want to experience what it's like to open them and have them, you know? Why would I just get the skins for 7 days? I want to gamble, man. Oh, hey, wow, look, we're back in New Jersey. Anyways, we gotta go kill some demons to get some more cannons offline. We do that for a little bit, and then we go grab a bomb to go put in our Atland, because for some reason, that Atland's been in hell for God knows how long, still works. That's because it's built forward tough, baby. So anyways, we're moving on to the next island level. And let me just say, the only thing that you really do in this is you press left click and spacebar. You know what would be a really cool idea for the Atland combat? Like, what if instead of, you know, fighting demons and destroying infrastructure, you just gave billions of dollars to Israel? Thoughts? Thoughts? Anyways, after we beat the Atland section, we get access to probably the best shield rune in the entire game, which is these daggers, which has been why I've been hoarding up all that gold. You see, these daggers deal enough damage to one-shot a fully armored enemy. It's crazy how much damage they do at max level, and we're going to be able to use them to beat this level. So anyways, on this next level, we're running through the Sentinel barracks. Then, we managed to get attacked by some questionable-looking tentacles. But because this is a good Christian video game, we can't stand for any of the questionable things that id Software tries to push on us. So we take our dragon and start shooting at these tentacles. We get to take out some random hell portals that spawned in, and I'm going to take the time to show you why on earth we picked the gauntlets instead of the flail, as you can see by this 3-hit combo dealing a shit ton of damage. After we spend enough time getting rid of the questionable tentacles, it turns out that one more tentacle comes down and takes both Bishop Fatass and Commander Thera, and the tentacle somehow manages to take them to the fucking shower realm. I said shower, not shadow. We try to get there, but for some reason, the Doomslayer is too fucking stupid to jump off the dragon into the portal when he very clearly could have made it. But he didn't. Anyways, we move on to go find out that the makers randomly have some giant titans sitting in storage that could conveniently take us to the shower realm. Also, tiny side note, the stomp does damage. Did not know this. I figured this out after I killed the dragon boss. Why? I don't know. Anyways, we have to go around and deactivate a bunch of switches in order to free the beast, so he can take us to the shower realm. So after we go around deactivating a bunch of the thingies, we have to go get something to break it out of the cage. And this is where we get introduced to the BFG, and probably the section that gave me the most AIDS in this entire video. Because for some stupid fucking reason, I have to be taught how to click left on my mouse. And I'm not gonna lie, this section, it just sucked. I mean, there's just nothing else I want to say about it. So after we get through that, we find out that the Titan was apparently fucking Cthulhu. Just imagine I kind of just want to imagine the makers just stumbling into this being like, imagine the makers stumbling into this, like, randomly, and then they're just, you know, 30-something years later, oh, well, one of our bishops got kidnapped, but thankfully in the back of our storage, we just have this demon. So anyways, we take the portal and we go into the shower realm. Now, on this next level, we get access to my pride and joy, also known as the Dread Mace, but I like to call it the bonk stick, because you walk up to some demons and bonk, now they're dead. Now, this thing does have a lot of problems, as in the recharge time is so unbelievably slow, it would make me look smart. But the other thing is, it's absolutely broken. If you get a bunch of grouped up demons together and you hit one of them, it'll pretty much just kill them all. One hit. It's crazy strong. I mean, this thing is so satisfying that the only thing I think it's relatable to in terms of satisfaction is beating your son. Anyways, with the use of the Dread Mace, we're able to run through the rest of the level, and we gotta go to the plains to go get something else. On this next level, we gotta go get some relics from some big black balls. Whenever I did this section for the first time, I had this weird glitch where it just wouldn't spawn in some demons, making the whole thing like weirdly impossible. So anyways, after a quick reset, it fixed the whole thing, and we're able to run through the rest of the level faster than Taco Bell runs through my digestive tract. And anyways, we get to the very end of the level just to end up getting eaten by Cthulhu. So anyways, after we get inside Cthulhu, pause. Let me rephrase that. After we get eaten by Cthulhu, we have to somehow figure out a way out. And the only way out is doing what my good friend Pete Hegseth would want to do, which is to blow everything up. Anyways, we run around trying to go find some buttons to press in order to get rid of the guard, which is blocking the big button, which is apparently the self-destruct button for what I think is either its brain or its heart. I can't tell. I gotta know, like what kind of anatomy this demon has in order to just have a fucking button that blows everything up. That'd be like if I punched my own stomach and I just exploded, or I stubbed my toe against a wall and I just blow. Anyways, after we get out, we go walk up a billion stairs before finally making it up to Thera. But just like me, whenever the Doomslayer touches a woman, he immediately gets what they call cooties. And these cooties cause him to lose his entire nervous system functions. And while that's happening, Prince Hairline ends up with a Heart of Argent, which gives him the special power to make his hairline slightly better. And then he uses that power to imprison the Doomslayer. But after about 5 minutes of sitting around and being bored, the Doomslayer gets bored and decides the only way to get out of the prison is to blow himself up. And unfortunately, he dies. So anyways, after we die, we get transported to the worst dimension of them all. A dimension where gambling doesn't exist, also known as hell. So we gotta leave as quickly as possible, because who would want to live in a world like this? So anyways, we run around robbing some skull keys in order to take over a hell ship in order to go drive it back to the mortal plane. So anyways, after enough running around and getting angry at stupid shit, like how for some fucking reason, the stupid Komodo boss does not ever stagger, which means it's really hard to hit with my bonk stick, which means I die more times than I should have. It's garbage. Anyways, after a while, I'm able to take control of the ship and drive it all the way back to the mortal plane, because why on earth would I want to exist in hell when there's no gambling here? Anyways, after we make it back, we get sent into a blood ritual using only the most clean, low-poly hand from 1999 I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I swear to God, I thought I was playing Star Fox 64 for a second. Also, total side note, that game is absolute gas. So anyways, after we make it back, we figure out that the fat-ass Creedmaker was totally on Prince Hairline's side. So we gotta go over there and take away a supply of donuts and Dr. Pepper, because without them, you will simply turn into nothing. So after we run through a bunch of Hale barracks, we head up to the Creedmaker's ship, and we gotta go find him in a boss fight. And let me just say, this boss fight is essentially just waiting for your melee to recharge. That is all you do the entire time. You just sit there and you wait for your melee to recharge. You know, you sometimes parry the small amount of attacks that he throws at you, commit a little tax fraud because the government stealing from you is absolutely garbage. Because when I steal, it's illegal, but when the government does it... Anyways, after we beat the shit out of the Creedmaker, we decide to enlist him in the brand new experimental weight loss program. And oh my god, look at that. He's lost half his weight in just 5 seconds. Purchase now for the low price of $5.99. Yes, that is $5.99. And you can lose up to half your weight in under 5 seconds. And that comes with our Slayer guarantee. If you're not satisfied, we'll cut you more weight off than you could even imagine. So anyways, on this next level, we have to go fight Cthulhu in the Royal Atland. The problem with this is that I stated in the rules, I can't use anything but melee weapons when I have the choice to. And the problem with this thing is that once you charge up its attack enough, your only option to use your special attack is guns. Yeah, I know they're not called guns, they're called siege breakers, but it looks like a gun to me. So you know what that means is that if I go above a certain charge, I can't do anything for the rest of this fight. So I pretty much just press space and left click like I did for every other Atland, but more this time. So anyways, after we end up killing Cthulhu, we end up fighting Prince Hairline, and let me say, this boss is actually a lot of fun because he's hyper aggressive and has a lot of parryable attacks, which means it's really easy to recharge my bonk stick. And the thing about Azric is that he's not even that hard, but after his first phase, he ends up going Super Saiyan. And after I beat his ass again, we have a top 10 saddest anime death of all time. Fucking voice crack time. God, I'm trying to be sincere. With the dragon tragically giving us his life. Rest in peace, Goat. So anyways, after he ends up killing the dragon, we decide to hit him in the head with a tennis racket. And I don't know if you've ever been hit in the head with a tennis racket, but it fucking hurts. So anyways, after we beat his ass so extremely hard, he ends up retreating back to the Hell Dimension, where we want to go find him, because we want that booty, and we want it now.
I want that booty, Tom. You can't have my booty. Oh, yeah, I can.
So anyways, we make our way into hell and start absolutely cruising our way through, because we need to go find Azric's juicy ass. So anyways, after we end up making it to the castle, we fight him and engage in probably what is one of the most boring final boss fights of all time. Because for about half of it, you're fighting Azric. And that's not even that bad, you know, because there's a lot of parrying and he's pretty aggressive. The problem is fighting the witch, because all she does is just throw projectiles at you. And it's so annoying because you can't deal any damage to her outside of the melee. The shield throw does dick for damage, and the shield bash also does dick for damage. And you can't charge the melee, which means you're pretty much just sitting there with your dick in your hand, waiting for the melee to recharge. But once your melee finally recharges, and after way too long, we get purely down to Azric's phase, which isn't even that bad. You just beat his ass and that's it.
I want that booty, Tom.
So anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. Tune in next time where I'm going to do something extremely, extremely stupid. You gotta wait and you gotta trust me, okay?